Right, let's do home cured back bacon. This is going to be a dry cure. I've got myself a piece of pork loin. This is skinless and boneless. There's a nice fat cap on there. I'm going to need 3% weight of fine sea salt. I've actually got some pink Himalayan salt here, that'll do fine. As long as it's not got any additives, you'll be fine with this. The piece of meat has been trimmed to exactly 2 kilos, so I've got 60 grams of salt here. I've then got the exact same weight in molasses. You can use dark brown sugar or treacle if you like. I've then got some spices that I'm going to add to the mix. These include some broken up bay leaves, some coriander powder, some coriander seeds, a little bit of allspice, some sweet paprika, and plenty of cracked mixed peppercorns. So first things first, we're going to give the meat a good coating with all of these things. Get it all nice and evenly distributed over the meat. So I'm just sprinkling on my salt now. Give that a pat down. Turn over the meat. Get the rest of the salt on there. Make sure you cover all the sides. And just use up any remaining salt on any surfaces that have look like they've not got quite as much on. Give that a good rub. Repeat with the sugar. Okay, then we just add our spices. Just sprinkle the spices over. Give them a massage in. Okay, so now we're going to transfer all this to a vacuum seal bag and vacuum seal it, and that way when all the juices start coming out and it starts to mix, everything will marinate nicely in there and there'll be no air in there to create any nasty bacteria. Okay, so that's everything in the bag. I've just put the rest of the mix in the bag with the meat. Made sure the edge of the bag is clear of contaminants. And now we'll start the vacuum off. Get the bag all clear of air, and then seal it. Just help the corners to expel any air. It's all looking good. It's going to seal for us now. Okay, so that's all looking good. As this sits, it will start to release some juices and everything in here will start to marry and marinade. So I'm going to put a second seal on that bag just to be 100% sure, and then we can leave that to cure. Okay, so I'm actually using dry curing bags here. They're micro perforated so that they don't let any moisture out, but they allow the bag to breathe when it needs to. I find them a bit tricky to seal with without without causing them to melt. So I've double bagged this just to ensure there's a good seal there. And what you can do is you can give the bag a bit of a massage and just mix around all the spices and the sugar and the salt. And this is going to go into the fridge now for 14 days. And every day I'm going to turn it over and give it a bit of a massage. And then when it comes out, we can get moved to the next step. Right, so it's been 2 weeks. Got our bacon here, all ready and nice and cured. I'm just going to open these bags and see what we've got inside. Okay. I did double bag it, so one more to get through. That is what's left of our bacon. It's firmed up, it's reduced in size. There's a nice dark colour on there now, but it's covered in this salty brine and all these spices. So let's have a smell. Now the bacon smells fresh, it smells of spices, and it doesn't smell off. So at this point, if it does, you have to discard it because something's gone wrong. Maybe you didn't get good enough coverage and some bacteria is allowed to grow. But that is good, that smells good to me. So now we're going to give this a rinse off, and we're going to dry that on a wire rack in the fridge for a couple of days, and then we'll be ready for our smoking. Okay, so that's it, dried off. I've rinsed everything off the meat and then I've patted it dry with some paper towels. And that's now on a wire rack, so I'm going to pop that in the fridge, leave that for 2 more days to just completely dry out, and then be going into the smoker. Okay guys, so we are in the smoke shed. Got the bacon slab here. I've took it out of the fridge a few hours ago. Give that a couple of hours to just start to bring itself up to room temperature. I've got a probe inserted into the middle. I've got another probe in the smoker using Louisiana Grill's LG900 C2. I've got the smoker set to 225 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 107 degrees Celsius. It will fluctuate a little bit, but that's what we've got the probe for, just to keep an eye on that. Make sure it's accurate. So I'm going to pop this in the smoker. And that's going to stay in there till we reach an internal temp of 145 degrees Fahrenheit or 63 degrees Celsius, I think that is. Should take a couple of hours. I'm going to monitor the probe using an app. It's a Bluetooth enabled probe, kind of handy. Gives you some nice graphs, temperature curves and things like that, so you can see when your meats are stalling, and very handy for smoking. And obviously it comes with 4 outputs, so you can monitor the grill temperature as well as 3 different meats if you like. So we'll see you when that's done. Okay, so there we go. We've reached the internal temperature of 145 degrees Fahrenheit. That's what our bacon looks like. Beautiful. So I'm going to take this off the grill now, let this cool down to room temperature, then pop it in the fridge for a good 6 to 12 hours so it's nice and firm, and then we can slice it. Right then, so this has had some time to cool down in the fridge. I've got this on my meat slicer. You don't have to use a meat slicer, you can use a knife if you want to just have that nice rustic look. But, you know, I happen to have a meat slicer, so I've got to put it to use from time to time. So let's get some slices of bacon. there we go. Some nicely, I'd say, quite thick sliced bacon here. Yeah, they're about as thick as you get from an extra thick sliced pack at the supermarket. And yeah, these can just be fried up now. Let's see what these become like after a good fry. And yeah, they should keep good for up to a week in the fridge. Obviously we've not used preservatives here at all. And if you wanted to keep them longer, you could put them in the freezer for up to a year. Let's see what they're like when they're cooked. Right, let's fry a couple of pieces up and see how they go. So you can tell there's a lack of pink going on, and that is due to the fact that we haven't used any preservatives. That's what usually gives it that pink colour. So it's up to yourself. You can get the pink salt preservatives. You can use those, but you know, I just like to have as little chemicals as possible in the food. As long as you do everything safely, and as long as you do everything properly, and you check the product throughout the cooking process, then you'll generally have a safe product. Okay, so they're done to my liking. I do like the bacon a little bit towards well done. Like a little bit of a crisp on my bacon. There we go. Let's give that a try. Just cut a little piece off here. Wow, okay, yeah. I'm getting some of the flavours that we put into the brine, into the dry Creole. It pretty much tastes just like bacon, with added flavour. Yeah, the pinkness doesn't make a difference to the taste whatsoever. It's like extra yummy bacon. Not too salty at all. That was going to be amazing on a bacon sandwich. There we go, guys. So I've wrapped some up, stuck them in the freezer. They'll be good for a year. Every time you pull one out and stick it in the fridge, you've got a week for it.